Welcome to the I Didn't Know What the Fuck I Was Doing podcast.
We're your hosts, Teresa
And David.
This is the podcast with two ADHD entrepreneurs
who've made a lot of mistakes.
Each week, we discuss ways to navigate business, relationships, and health.
We also interview excellent guests who share their own personal IDKWTF stories.
Listen today so you can hear some relatable content
as we normalize uncertainty and obstacles.
Because it's important to admit that no one really knows
what the fuck they're doing. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another holiday episode of the IDKWTF I Was Doing podcast. I'm David B.
And I'm Teresa Marick.
Hello.
And today we are talking about that money. That's Skrilla.
Yes.
What are other words for money?
Moolah.
That moolah. That cake. That's not. It's not money.
We're talking about cash money and how the holidays cause us to not have any cash money.
Yes.
They break us. Yeah. And I think first we were talking about it and I was thinking, oh, gifts. Because people they spend a lot of money on buying stuff for other people.
Yes.
But then we got to talking and there's like a nice long list of stuff you spend money on during the holidays that you probably don't even think about, like some of it.
And that was a big thing because I don't buy gifts for people and I tell people not to buy gifts, which you heard in the last episode. We kind of talked about that. And then we were trying to think of holiday tips on how to save money. And then it was like, there's so many other things. It's not just gifts. Because even typically gas gets more expensive.
Yep.
And we're traveling more.
Well, right. Traveling and we're just going to more events because there's holiday parties. You're buying food, you're buying alcohol, and you're getting dressed up for that. You got to have the shoes to go with your new outfit.
Yeah.
That
I
costs.
actually really like the men's holiday sport jackets that are like ridiculous. That's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. So you go spend all your money on the holiday sport jackets. Do you wear them?
On the holidays, yeah.
At home by yourself?
I'll go out. I go out.
For the parties, where
If
you then have to buy
parties.
alcohol to bring to the parties, and alcohol is expensive
That's
too.
the other thing. There's parking. So if you're going to like an event downtown, you got to pay for parking.
Plus the cost of the event. Plus if you're going to go out to eat around the event.
For the Ubers to get back and forth.
Definitely.
And so that's, I think, my Uber money goes up because I hate driving downtown.
Decorations. I almost always end up buying, like, even if you don't go crazy with decorations, which I love holiday lights and decorations. I think it's so fun. I love driving around seeing people's houses, but I just don't usually take the time to do it to mine. We do have lights because lights are my favorite thing, but I almost always have to buy new lights almost every year. Just some part of the lights are old or...
Have you switched to LED lights yet?
It's LED. It's rotating through. Let's see.
Upgrade all of those. Got to get the LED tree and the balls that break. Or those who put up trees, I imagine. Right?
Yeah. Well, the ornaments aren't a big expense once you get going. I have a lot of ornaments, but that's because then and then when you have kids, they make ornaments, or you have ornaments with pictures on them, or you have. So it's, my tree isn't the one that like looks all pristine and perfect. It's like mine is the chaos tree of love. I like that because it is. And the kids help me decorate it, which is fun too. So decorations also, if your kids have school events, like there's also whether those are like holiday events, because depending on the school, they may not be holiday, but they might be winter break events and you need to donate plates or food or whatever. There's toy drives.
Buying more food. And so that you can do the bake sales or the whatever. That's a cost.
Yeah. I was going to say like food drives and donations too. Like I have a friend who does this donation every year with her daughter, and they donate to the Children's Cancer Ward. And we always donate. Like I always buy stuff. It's usually going on in October, but it's like, that's kind of the beginning of it. I feel like for me and things that I like to donate. And even if I'm only donating a little, those like $30, $40 add up really quick.
My last job, so I worked at a credit union. Like it was like every day someone was asking for a donation for something.
Right.
And a lot of them are great causes. Some of them are okay causes, but it's so much and it's
a lot.
And it's like $5 here, $5 there, $10 there. It just adds up.
Right. Even if you're just like, I can do $5, but then before you know it, where did all the $5 go? Yeah. And then so that's like a lot of the fun holiday stuff, but then there's the big one, Black Friday,
Black
Cyber
Friday.
Monday.
Yeah. And that's another, even before Black Friday, just all of the marketing that goes in. It's so hard to not impulse buy
Right.
all this stuff. And they've got it like
Totally.
psychologically designed to be like, I do want this.
Yeah. So even if you're not buying gifts, though,
Yeah.
you're thinking about the things you need and want. And I don't know about everybody else, but sometimes I have a hard time putting that on a Christmas list. I'm like, I'll just get it for myself because it's kind of expensive and I don't want anybody else to buy it. But it's on such a good deal or whatever. So
I do love Black Friday. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like going out and shopping. But
No.
we'll probably talk about it.
We could talk about Black Friday for 20 minutes and I could tell you how much I hate Black Friday. Like I like the deals that are actually deals.
Yeah.
I don't mind shopping online now,
Yeah.
but I refuse. Like I hate that they've ruined people's Thanksgivings
I'm
to start
curious-
Black Friday on 5:00 on Thanksgiving or something. I think it's silly and it's unnecessary. But yeah. So anyway, obviously that's like the pile of stuff we came up with that we're like, oh man.
There was one we put on here, which is hilarious.
Oh,
which
what
is
did we
something
put
that
on here?
do. It's called the ADHD tag.
Oh yeah, we
When
did
you
put that
buy
on here.
something again because you forgot that you bought it a few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I love this year. I actually haven't done it, but a lot of times if I find stuff in like August, September, and I'm like, oh, my kid would love this.
Yeah.
Like I will buy it, but they're my kids. So I have to hide them. Like they can't be out where I remember because then the kids will see them.
Yeah.
So I have to hide them away and I find a good hiding spot. And then I forget. I either forget, well, or I remember that I got it and I can't find it in my own house, or I just totally forget that I got them that. So it's, oh my gosh,
You found the perfect hiding spot and then forgot.
the ADHD tax of not knowing where the heck it is. And we actually have a tip that helps with that. So we're going to give you guys 3 tips that are not like, just like in our other episode, we don't want you to just Google like holiday budgeting tips and get the same exact tips from us. We wanted to give you what we really feel like are useful tips for anybody that may not be like the first thing you think of. So
Cool. So what is tip number 1?
well, tip number 1 is like 2 or 3 of your must haves or must do during the holiday season.
Okay.
Because so this actually goes hand in hand with our first holiday episode that hopefully you just listened to. And if you didn't, go check it out. But you want to have the holiday season that you want. So it's even for David, who you don't celebrate specifically on the holidays, you don't give gifts,
Correct.
But you have some holiday season expenses.
Absolutely.
Like you were just talking about sport coat. So you're like, if I want another holiday
Gotta
sport
get the
coat, right? Well, you could probably wear those on New Year's too if you wanted.
I
huh?
actually typically buy one.
Of course you do.
Literally.
Okay. So what are your like must do or must haves?
So it's actually the perfect time to buy business expenses. So updating the websites or getting the domain name, those are actually the holiday deals are really good for that. Any like software is always on really good sales.
Yeah. I never think about that.
I don't think most people do. So I'm
But-
just like, clients, gotta get this, gotta get this. And it's like,
Right. And now's the time to do it because they're just giving it to you on a discount. And it's once annual sale or something, but it's an annual subscription. So
it's
if you update it,
it's like a business expense that you have anyway. So you may as well just do it during the holidays when it's on sale.
right.
So
And when it makes sense too. Like that's good. Anything else that you really like notice that you always spend money on in the holidays?
I don't think there is really anything. So we'll talk about it in the next tip as well, but I keep a running list of things that I know I'm going to want to buy.
Yeah.
It's like those impulse purchases that might be a little bit
Okay.
bigger.
So Black Friday
That's my like.
is your big one. Maybe a sport coat. Maybe do you ever do holiday events with people? Not necessarily for holidays, but just because it's
Not,
I mean, you mentioned like Uber costs a little bit more because if you're going to go downtown.
yeah, because there's always like someone's holiday party or someone's gathering. And so or when I had a job, it was like the company parties, those kind of things. So those are what I would go to. And often I'll go to like charity events, which there's always like big charity events.
Well, and it costs to get in and then you
Yeah.
donate when you're there. Yeah, absolutely. Or there's
Yeah. So I've done that.
auctions and stuff at
4 years.
those.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, those kind of auctions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, it's the main expense, is gifts. Like I definitely do the gifts for my family. I probably way overspend on the kids. I know I way overspent on the kids. I actually have really been working on paring it down because they just don't need more stuff. They have so much stuff. And I'm grateful that we have everything we need, but also I like to give them things. So I'm trying to be really thoughtful about what they're getting this year.
So what is your most expensive?
Well, my most expensive altogether. Well, it's an event that we do. We go to Zoo Lights every year. I think Xander's 14. And I think since he was born, we have gone every single year except 2. But it has gotten more and more expensive because 1, we have a bigger family. But even with like it used to get a discount if you had a Zoo membership. But now it's like the last few years they don't because you're paying to light up the zoo. I mean, but also the zoo has to take care of the animals that are there. So, I mean, to go do Zoo Lights every year, I mean, it's a chunk of money for my family.
For all the kids.
Yeah. Generally, everybody wants a hot chocolate.
You get like the little spinner thing.
I do not get they always want all the little things, but I'm always like, dude, I already dropped like $250 for the 5 of us. It's like for hot chocolates and entry, it's like $250 for 5 people.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a blast every year.
Plus the gas to get there, plus the time to park.
Right. It's hard for me to, because there's other interesting events. Like at the Gaylord Center now, they do these like cool ice sculptures and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. But it costs like the same. Yeah. So I'm like, do I want to switch events? Not a chance. I love Zoo Lights.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm not switching.
It's my thing.
That's funny.
I love Zoo Lights so much. Well, no, we would add it and I would have to figure out the budget for that.
Yeah.
So that's really, it's like for me, it's something I love. It makes me happy to go look at lights. I like to drive around and look at lights too, which is also like a gas expense, but it's a much smaller expense because I just drive around like nearby. I don't necessarily go all over the metro area.
Okay. Recap tip number 1.
Tip number 1, pick your 2 or 3 must do, must have, and budget for those.
And then like we said on the last one, say no to everything else. People are like, hey, do you want to do this? No. You want to go to the Gaylord?
Right.
No. Yeah.
Right. And
no.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe you have a budget for yourself and you put a little extra. So you're like, when I want to say yes, when there's that thing that someone goes, hey, do you want to do this? And you're like, yeah, that's where I'm going to use that little extra.
Yeah.
That's going to be where that little bit of money goes.
Like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah.
Take a short break. Come back. Do tip number 2 and tip number 3.
Woohoo. See you in a minute.
Break. See you soon.
This is a podcast for anyone looking to improve their personal, professional, or family life.
We craft these episodes so you can learn from or relate to our experiences and opinions.
And we'd love to hear more about you. So if you're interested in connecting with us further,
as well as other like-minded individuals,
we recommend checking out our creatively named Facebook group, Colorado Entrepreneurs.
You don't have to be from Colorado or be an entrepreneur to join, but it doesn't hurt.
Just go to facebook.com/groups/Colorado Biz, that's BIZ, and send us a join request.
Or check the link in the description and show notes below.
Thanks for listening, and now back to the show.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, we're back, and we want to share tips 2 and 3.
Okay, so what is tip number 2?
All right, so for all you gift buyers out there, because I am one of them, make a list. I know, and I know you know. And we know that you know, and I know that you know. But seriously, though, make a list of the people that you're going to buy gifts for. And then make a list of stuff you want to buy for them. Or if you're like, maybe I don't know, but like Susie loves giraffes, so I want to try and find her something cute with a giraffe on it. I mean, whatever the case might be, jot that down before you go on Amazon and start clicking buy this, because that's what I do. And then I realized that, I've just bought Marie like 26 things and Kelsey and Xander each have 4. That's not very balanced for my children.
And so instead of not giving her all of this,
more gifts. Yeah. So then you break the bank. I mean, I don't know that seriously, that's what I end up doing. Well, or it's like the forgotten gifts. Sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I forgot. And I got these 3 things for this one kid and not the other kids. And yeah, that's really what I try and balance it. And I mean, they don't have to have the same number. It's not like we're counting, but it has made it much easier to look at, okay, what do I want to spend as a budget wise, like for each of my kids, for example, but then it's, okay, what do I want to buy? And they understand they're not going to necessarily have the same number of gifts because they're getting different things.
Some are higher quality.
Well, and some are more expensive. If I'm going to buy my 14-year-old something, he's probably going to like things that are more expensive than I could go get for my 9-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. It depends. Depends on the kid, depends on what they want. But this goes for anybody. If you have gifts to give people, if you're like, oh, I know I'm going to buy David something, which don't worry, I'm not. That's why I'm using you as an example. I'm not going to buy David something. So I wrote David's name down, unless you're buying me something, then I'm going to cross it off. So yeah, you definitely want to create that list before you go shop. Or if you're going to go browse to get ideas, great, get ideas, but literally don't buy anything until you've made your budget and make the budget. Like, how much money do I have to spend on people's gifts? Okay, budget accordingly. And if you don't have enough money to buy everyone you want to buy gifts, maybe don't buy that many gifts.
Or just don't buy gifts. Just tell everyone you're not doing gifts this year because Christmas is genocide. Just kidding. What I was going to say is that because I don't buy gifts, but what I do is I keep a running list of things that I do want throughout the year. So some of the more expensive things I like, I'm like,
yeah, for your Black Friday stuff or stuff that you can look and see, oh, did it go on sale?
Exactly. Yeah.
Of stuff you want. Because don't you want like a cool snowboardy rollers or like skateboard, snowboard thing?
Summer board. And so it's got wheels and it's electric. So it's like you're snowboarding.
So is that on your list for Black Friday shopping?
I think that is the one thing I'm going to buy for sure on Black Friday. If it's on sale. So
you're obviously
I can't even
very excited about it.
I really want it. Just
for anybody not watching, David's just, he's making like motions and he's excited.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I actually think this camera was like a Black Friday purchase too.
Oh,
yeah.
So budget, make a list for Black Friday.
Yeah.
For
what else was?
Yes. So ultimately, whether you buy gifts or not, like making that list and like actually having it planned out and then really deciding, like narrowing it down. I hate narrowing it down because if I wrote it on the list, I flippin' want it. Like, but that's going to help you save money.
And here's the thing. If you keep a running list throughout the year for things that you want to get or people you want to get it for, then when they do something mean to you, it's really satisfying to cross them off and be like, I'm not getting them that. They won't even know, but you'll know. And you don't even have to be vengeful. You can just be like, not getting that.
I was actually thinking too, though, then if you don't get something on your list, it's like you have it listed there. And you can watch their other sales throughout the year.
You're saving money if you choose not to buy something.
It's true.
Like, look how much money I'm saving.
But I'm not like vengefully crossing people's names off. But if you do that, enjoy. Actually, when you have a list of gifts and you have those like couple names, please take a little like picture of it and send it to us. Yeah. You don't have to post it like anywhere. So nobody, just send it to us because we'll be amused. David will enjoy that.
Right.
Why don't you share what tip number 3 is?
Tip number 3 is to creatively find ways to buy stuff. So a big one is using your credit card points. So a lot of people, if you're using your credit card throughout the year, you're accumulating points and then use that cash back to just buy your gifts. So it's not money out of pocket.
Yeah. It's literally bonus. Yeah. Unless you use that money for something else specifically already. Like it's interesting because I don't have a credit card that gets me points because I don't know. It just would be another thing that I have to make sure that I pay on time. Because I would just need to pay it off. Like I use debit or cash. Like, I mean, I spend the money I have because otherwise I overspend. Absolutely. Not always, but then I'm tempted to. And it's like, no, if I just have this much in my bank account or this much that I can spend, then that's all I have. But I think it might be worthwhile to get a credit card with points for cash back specifically because it would save me money on if I did it specifically so I could use the points at holiday time.
Or another thing you could do too is instead of putting money into a savings account or something like that, you could put it into like an investment. So you could get like Robinhood and just spend a few bucks a month into an investment. And if it grows, hey, you made some money and then you can spend that investment or like Bitcoin, go to Coinbase, Just buy some Bitcoin if that goes up.
I really don't know enough about investment stuff to do that.
That's super easy.
Oh,
Barely
good.
an
We should.
inconvenience.
Well, we should do an episode, and you should teach us how to do that.
Do that. Or I did make a bad investment buying a bunch of property in the metaverse. Which it might pan out. It might. But
Yeah, but when you're saying a few dollars, I'm thinking smaller amounts.
Yeah, no, you're really like $10-15, trying to get a few $100 by the end of the year. Right?
I mean, that would.
And maybe it'll double.
Hey, if it
Maybe
pays for zoo lights, or
yeah, exactly.
or it could pay for me to go do an extra event and take the kids to go do something different too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Or
like it'd
maybe
be
not.
fun to go to a play or a ballet or something fun, like different.
Yeah.
But that is also a few $100s when you take 5 people.
But the big thing is don't buy gifts with credit. That's such a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that is a tip you see other
Yeah.
places, but like going into debt to buy other people gifts, like I think honestly, people are more understanding if you're just like, I really should not be spending my money on this. Like I need this to live. Like,
Yeah.
I think people understand. And I know it might be hard to say that, but if you just say, I'm not going to buy you gifts. But if you're just like, hey, look, I really am looking at my budget and I really feel that gift giving this year. So you could do something like we mentioned, you were like baking cookies takes all this time, but like people do cookie exchanges where everybody makes like a different kind of cookie and then you get together and have a little party. It's usually like a small group of people, 5 to 7 people, but then you do a cookie exchange and everybody gets to have some different kinds of cookies and bring those home.
Yeah.
And it's something fun that's very inexpensive, but that's fun to do instead of maybe doing a Secret Santa gift exchange with your friends, do something like that.
Yeah.
Or actually, we didn't have this as a tip, but I think this is bonus tip.
Bonus tip.
Do an exchange. Agree to give gifts to people where it's like, what is stuff that I don't use or don't need? But like maybe you have a cool kitchen gadget that you're like, this is cool. I never use it. It might be $100 gadget or something. But then it's like, oh, well, what if I've used it twice and then I never use it again? But I know my friend Susie would love this gift. But if we agree to exchange stuff that's either thrifted or found from our house. But I think getting creative with your gift giving and not going into debt for it.
Yeah.
But I really loved the idea of using credit card points. Like, how can you creatively have a little bit extra? Because we want you to save your money. We don't want you to wake up January 1st being really sad because you have no money.
Another thing, like what you can do with all those old gifts too, if you don't want to re-gift them, just put them up on eBay and sell them on eBay. Get
That's
some
true.
of that eBay money and then go buy some new stuff with it.
That's totally true too.
Boom.
Yeah. So
Making money with all those old things.
seriously,
Yeah.
there's so many ways.
Gotta get that paper. It's very important.
It is. It really is. We need it. But it's like, I feel like so many people come out of the holiday season just broke.
Absolutely.
And we don't want you to come out of the holiday season broke. We want you to come out of the holiday season satisfied with your
Yes.
season and how much money you've spent.
Yeah. And that's, to me, one of the biggest reasons that I'm so strongly still against it is because I've seen so many people spend so much money they don't have
Yeah.
buying things that nobody needs,
That someone's going to
put
on
shelf,
eBay
and it's gonna
later.
end up in a garage sale in 10 years.
Right.
It's such a wasteful exchange of value.
It is.
And but people are so into it. And because I was working retail and people would just get so crazy and feverish. Did I already talk about this? Just how
Not really.
feverish they would get, like needing to spend money, needing to buy gifts. And they're like, I have to do this. I have to get that. And then I would see their faces
Right.
when it's like $500 that they've rung up. And they're like, I didn't realize I spent that much.
Yeah.
But I have to buy it because I'm already at the register. And then they're suffering. They're paying off the interest for the next year until next Christmas. And it's a
Right.
stupid system. It's the dumbest thing. So let's go back over those 3 tips.
3
Recap.
tips. All
The
right.
audience.
What are our 3 tips?
You.
Our 3 tips. All right. Pick like your top 2 or 3 things that you absolutely are going to do and budget for those. Maybe leave a little extra so you can say yes to 1 or 2 smaller things that make you happy, but otherwise say no. Just like our other tip in our other episode. Go listen for more on that. Tip number 2. make some lists about what you're going to buy, whether it's for gifts, whether it's for yourself for Black Friday, and be intentional about that. And then if you go to buy those gifts and they're too expensive, like don't do it. Budget, stay within your budget. Not every single person has to be on that list too.
Yes.
And then number 3, get creative with how you're going to have money. So use your credit card points, make a small investment throughout the year that's like specifically for holiday stuff. So right now that may not be relevant, but also, I mean, hey, that's super easy to do.
Yeah.
Sell things on eBay or on Facebook. I mean, you can sell them anywhere, man. Like sell some things and make money. People will buy stuff up like that.
Yeah.
So
it's actually amazing what people will buy. Like
it is.
And especially during the holiday season, then you can get rid of everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So find creative ways to pay for your expenses during the holidays so that you're not breaking your budget. And like, seriously, don't go into debt. Like tip number 4 that we didn't have is don't go into debt. Don't go into debt for buying other people's stuff or going to events that make other people happy, not you. Yeah. I love zoo lights. If you don't love zoo lights and your friend wants you to go every year and you go, or your mom wants you to go every year and you go, unless they're paying for you, like you could say, hey, I really don't have the budget for that. If you want to cover my ticket, I'll come walk around with you. But I don't have the budget for that. If not, I totally understand. And I'm just not going to be able to make it. Yeah. Don't pay for the stuff that you don't want to do. Exactly. Don't go. Say no.
Just don't do it. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
We'll
and if they
permission slip.
Really?
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
We should have a download of like permission slip that says
we might have to go. We
that would be funny.
I seriously think we're going to make one. Because this was, if you haven't listened to the first episode on holiday stuff, we talked about this, but like, seriously, you don't have to. Who says? David and Teresa say you don't have to.
All you have to do, go to IDKWTF POD, IDKWTF.com/friends, and you can get our permission slip that says you don't have to do nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
Got that for you.
Yep.
Signed by the professionals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they want to know who David and Teresa are, you just point them to this episode and let them know. We'll let them know. Hey, don't force. And you know what?
Like that.
Don't be that person either.
Yeah.
If someone else says, hey, I can't do this, or no, I don't want to, or maybe they don't like doing it, don't make your loved ones do stuff they don't want to do. If they say to you, hey, I really don't want to do this, say, okay, great. I would like to see you. What could we do together that would work for you?
So the best gift sometimes you can give is to give someone peace and quiet.
Yeah. Let them do their thing. All right. All right, guys. So we hope that your 3 money tips plus a couple bonus tips in there are helpful. We'd love to know which ones you used. And please, like in the comments, let us know which ones we missed, because let's share all the money tips over the holidays, because let's save some money, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Thank you for listening. This has been part 1 of our 2-part series on this topic.
The second episode will be out next week, if it's not out already.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, please consider liking, subscribing, and/or reviewing us on wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Also, if there's someone you know who clearly doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and would benefit from this topic, please hit that share button and send them this episode.
Let's normalize the feeling of uncertainty.
Asking for help and admitting that we don't know
what the fuck we're doing either.
Santa?
Whatever. It'll be fine.
I do like Christmas music, which is absurd. Yes, because I hate everything about Christmas. But I do really, really like the music.
That's because Christmas music is the best.
It is amazing.
See, Dan hates Christmas music.
Which is reasonable. I understand why everyone hates it. And especially even working in retail when it's just blah, blah, blah. I love it.
I love Christmas music.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh.
I actually had to put a limit on Dan kind of put a limit on it, but the kids, because in February, in June, and they used to be like, Mom, and they pick a song for me to sing to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, they pick like Rudolph or Santa. And I'm like, guys, it's May. I'm not in the mood for Christmas music. So
Yeah.
so we put a limit on it. But then like Kelsey actually asked me like a month ago, she's like, Mom, will you sing me? And so we sang Rudolph, but I was like, shh, if Dad hears, he might blow a fuse
Yeah.
because Dad does not want.
It's so reasonable
Seriously,
for people to hate it. I think it's completely reasonable.
Dan will not let us turn on Christmas music
Yeah.
until after Thanksgiving. Like he also don't decorate for
right.
Christmas before Thanksgiving. And I'm like, but sometimes it would be so convenient to put the tree up just because I'm like, we don't have to decorate it, but can we just put it up so that it's done?
Yeah.
But I would probably turn it on to see the lights.
His point is completely valid.
It is.
And yet, put the tree up. Trees they're cool. I mean, it's not my thing.